From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. Ceremonies honoring Alaska's fallen officers took place earlier today in downtown Fairbanks.
The day's event was just one of many statewide commemorating Alaska Police Memorial Day.
We have more now in this report. The community in attendance was silent as the names of the now 69 law enforcement officials were read. It's a day with special meaning to those men and women who stood at attention in their uniforms.
Police Memorial Day holds a very deep feeling for me. My very first day in a police uniform in '98 was to go to Officer Kevin Lamb's funeral. So my very first day putting on a badge and a duty belt was to go to a cop's funeral. So it was a very humbling event, and it still is to this day, almost 17 years after.
In attendance was Senator Mark Begich, who said it's important to remember the families who carry the loss with them.
And so it's very important to recognize that families sacrifice equal or greater at times for a public safety officer, no matter what they're doing in Alaska. And I think that's something we have to remember. And even after these two incidents that have occurred, we can't forget those families and what they're going through now and the struggles they're going to be going through now.
The event happens just 2 short weeks after 2 Alaska State Troopers, Sergeant Scott Johnson and Trooper Gabe Rich, were killed in the line of duty in Tanana. Their names were added to the list and wreaths stood out front of the Fairbanks Police Department. But their legacy goes far beyond that.
Saw here today, everybody that you see in uniform that's doing an exemplary job throughout the state will be a direct reflection of Sergeant Johnson and Trooper Rich. Sergeant Johnson had a little more time on, a little more war stories, if you will. Trooper Rich was well on the way of having as big a legacy as Sergeant Johnson ever did. Those two were peas in a pod, and I think the best way I can thank them for their service is to continue every day as they'd want me to.
I'm Stephanie Woodard, reporting.
The state of Alaska has responded in court to a post-conviction relief filed for a group of men known as the Fairbanks Four. Stephanie Woodard takes a look at what was inside the 23-page response and where the case will go from here.
State Prosecutor Adrian Bachman filed the response to the relief filed last year by the Alaska Innocence Project, claiming the 4 men, Kevin Pease, Eugene Vent, Marvin Roberts, and George Freese, were wrongfully convicted. Inside that filing was a confession made by William Holmes, claiming he and a group of his friends were to blame for the 1997 murder of Jonathan Hartman. After months of research and an extension given by the courts, the state has concluded that the confession given by Holmes and corroborated by another witness provided by the Alaska Innocence Project, Scott Davison, were hearsay statements and further could be deemed inadmissible in court.
In that petition, Mr. Holmes' statements are characterized as a confession, but the state doesn't concede that William Holmes confessed to any involvement in John Hartman's death.
Inside, the state says, quote, evidence gathered to date does not corroborate Mr. Holmes' version of the events of October 11th, 1997, claiming the opposite is in fact true. Other new evidence discovered by the state supports the convictions. That, Fairbanks 4 supporters say, is not supported.
Where is it? In the Alaska Innocence Project filing, what you see are statements like, we have, there are witnesses that say that Jason Wallace and Bill Holmes and some of their cohorts were responsible for this crime. And here attached is that witness, their statement, what they have to say, their name. Her filing is got just a little factual content. It says, well, we have information that indicates they would be guilty. Where is it? Because it certainly isn't attached. It's not where it would belong, which is filed in a court of law to be judged.
In the end of the 23-page response, Bachman closes in saying, just as others allege Jason Wallace was the culprit who killed John Hartman, Kevin Pease, George Freese, and Eugene Vent all did while awaiting trial as well. She says John Hartman's brother, while jailed for an unrelated incident, vividly remembers an apology given to him by Vent in which he said, quote, I'm so sorry. We didn't mean to kill him. The state was not opposed to moving to the next phase, an evidence hearing that will be scheduled by the judge. I'm Stephanie Woodard, reporting.
All right, when we come back, trying to figure out how much the Trans-Alaska Pipeline is worth.
Also, a local health fair is set for tomorrow. Those stories are next. Stay with us.
Welcome back to the Fbx Evening News. After 4 days of testimony, the State Assessment Review Board wrapped up its meeting in Anchorage yesterday. The board is trying to determine the real value of the Trans-Alaska Pipeline. Monty Bowen reports that the three sides had very different ideas about the value of the line.
The line's owners, BP, Conoco, and Exxon, set the value at $2.7 billion. The State Department of Revenue says it's worth $5.7 billion. So the Fairbanks North Star Borough, the North Slope Borough, and the city of Valdez place the value at $13.7 billion. The line runs through all three localities, and the respective governments collect property tax.
It's important to our communities, to our police, to our fire departments, to the people in these communities that you get it right. So I'm here to ask that you do.
The Supreme Court upheld a lower court's 2006 ruling that the value of the line is $10 billion. Oil companies thought it should be around $850 million. Counsel for the industry says the 2006 numbers are out of date.
It's a depreciating asset. It's 8 years older. Reserves have declined, so it's a depreciating asset that's serving a declining field, and the throughput has declined.
The board has until June 1st to render its opinion. This is Monty Bowen reporting.
A grassroots effort is bringing together a health fair at Mount Pleasant Baptist Church. Tomorrow, the church on 3030 Pegger Road will be full of physicians and healthcare professionals from 9 a.m. until 1:30 p.m. The public health minister at Mount Pleasant says people should look at where they live, worship, and have fun because environments affect our health too. He says the health fair will help people slow down, take a look at their bodies, and get people pointed in the right direction.
We've worked very hard over the past 9 months to put a great program together for them for this weekend. And it's not just for tomorrow. This is going to be, we want to change lives. It's going to be a life experience of change, and this is where they should go from now on. So we want to get them a good platform to move forward on.
It's a new season for gardening tips, and a new host, Steve Seefeld from the Cooperative Extension Service. Tonight, Steve tells us about how to get your lawn ready for summer.
Hi, this is Stephen Seefeld with the Cooperative Extension Service, and welcome to our first segment on taking care of your gardens and lawns. And today's episode, we're going to be talking about something that we're all thinking about, and that's how to take care of our lawns at the start of spring. So the first thing you're going to want to do is rake off all the leaves, because the leaves are going to shade out your grass that's trying to grow. And then after that, if your ground is pretty hard, or if you've got a real dense thatch, you might want to aerate it, and there's equipment you can buy that'll poke holes in the ground. And then after that, you need to fertilize. And for fertilizing, we're recommending that for every 1,000 square feet, you put on 5 pounds of fertilizer. And you want to use fertilizer that's, you'll see the number on the bag, that's 20-10-10 or 22-11-11. And usually you're putting that on at about 5 pounds per 1,000 square feet. So when you're adding fertilizer to your lawn, you want to get it as even as possible. So we recommend setting your spreader at a really low rate, walking over your lawn 3 times before you use it all up. So go north-south first, go east-west second, and then do diagonal from that. And that should give you an even spread. Once you've done that, then let's hope that you get some rain that'll move that fertilizer into the ground. If it's going to be bright and sunny for a few days, then you might consider taking your sprinkler out and then getting that nitrogen dissolved, the fertilizer, and move down into the roots where the plants can use it. Be sure and join us next week, where we'll be talking about hardening off your plants and getting ready to transplant them outdoors.
Gardening tips, brought to you by Fairbanks Stump Grinders and by Midnight Sun Family Medicine.
Normally, I'm really proud of my lawn, but this year, not so much, because we got a puppy for Christmas.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You know what they do.
Oh, yeah. Yellow yard, huh?
Absolutely.
Joe Cook is next with sports, and he has some thrilling races for the first day of track and field regional championships at West Valley.
Plus, a look back at some moments from the Ice Dogs championship season. Stay with us.
Hello, Interior Alaska. It's TGIF, and time to get another weekend going with some sports. The first day of the Region 6 Track and Field Championship started at West Valley High School this afternoon. Let's see what happened with the 3A and 4A 3,200 meter finals. We start with the race of the day in the 4A boys 3,200 meter race. Senior and top qualifier for West Valley, Eric Hoffler, had much of this race in hand and looked to have it in the bag, opening a 200 meter lead on the final lap. But West Valley junior Tristan Sayer turns on the burners and makes up ground in the last 100 meters and blows by Hoffler, finishing at an unofficial time of 10 minutes and 9 seconds to claim the 3,200 regional title. Both runners talk about the amazing finish.
I thought I had him. I've had him all season, but I mean, Tristan's a solid runner. I've ran with him for, 4+ years. I knew he had a kick. I knew I probably couldn't rival the kick, but gave him my best shot and, it just came out as it is.
I thought he had me, actually. He had a big lead. I didn't think able to catch him with this wind and stuff, but I just started reeling him in, and next thing I knew, I was like almost on top of him. So I decided to go for it and try to beat him. I just knew that it was going to end soon, and the pain's only temporary, so I went for it, and 100 meters left isn't much, so just gave it all my all.
The 4A girls race was similar. It was between Lathrop sophomore Autumn Fournier and West Valley freshman Jenna DeFalco. Fournier was the leader throughout, but DeFalco was nipping at her heels, and then she made her move with less than 2 laps to go and wins the third 200 meter race with relative ease. With the win, DeFalco has the trifecta. She's won the regional cross country running, skiing, and third 200 meter titles as a freshman.
It's pretty cool. It's a lot of hard work, but it's just repetition and training and mental perseverance. It's pretty cool. It's a lot of fun.
In the 3A girls race, junior Victoria Jocelyn comes in first for Delta in a little over 12 minutes. Her second third 200 meter win of the season gives her the region title. For the boys race, top qualifier Daniel Todorenko of Delta doesn't make it interesting, running away from the field on the third lap. He finishes in an unofficial time of 10 minutes and 45 seconds and repeats as the third 200 3A region champ. The senior had to make it quick. Delta's graduation is tonight.
It felt good speeding up the process and stuff because we want to arrive on time, for graduation. Well, it's a good practice because I could pace myself, and then for state I could actually run with the top runners and stuff, which is pretty good.
And now we have the play of the week. Definitely no question about this one. The Ice Dogs go on a 5-0 run, scoring in the first, second, and third periods in Game 2 of the Robinson Cup Championship Series against the Austin Bruins, resulting in a 6-2 victory. The Ice Dogs sweep the Bruins and win their second Robinson Cup in 4 years. Their last one was in 2011. The top team in the NAHL ends the season on top. To pick the next play of the week, watch for the I5 Interior Top 5 plays on Mondays during the weekend recap. Well, the 2013-2014 season is in the books for the Ice Dogs, and it was arguably one of their best seasons ever. And just last Friday, they won the first game of the championship series on their way to the Robinson Cup title. Now let's take a look back at some moments from the Ice Dogs championship season. And congrats to the Ice Dogs. And come back tonight at 11 o'clock for a look at your weekend sports schedule. We'll have that later this evening. But that's all I got for you now at 6 o'clock. Mike Schultz is next with your full weather forecast, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey, welcome back, everyone. It's time to take a look at weather once again. Mike Schultz with you. What a windy day it was out there today. Good day to fly a kite, I guess, or maybe too strong. But the winds are slowly dying down, and we're looking at a front moving through, giving us maybe some showers and cooler temperatures, but nothing really heavy expected. And good news for the Heart Walk tomorrow. It should be fine weather. Hey, today's photograph, a beautiful shot, sunset over the Chena. Rob Fugett sent that in, and again, thanks to Rob to that photograph. And by all means, if you have a photograph, send it to photos@ktvf11.com, and we'll share it with the rest of the viewing audience. Our numbers look like this: 64 today after a high of 66, the low last night 45, record high 82 degrees in 1993, 22 in 1937, sunrise 4:22, sunset 11:18. 18 hours and 56 minutes of daylight, a 7-minute gain from yesterday, over 19 hours this weekend. As you can see, things starting to clear out as that last bit of cloudiness moved through. Another little bit of a frontal system starting to work its way across the northern slopes, and that'll drop down across the area over the weekend, giving us the cooler air. Elsewhere, we can see across the state, we're looking at partly cloudy to cloudy skies everywhere you look. A little fog around the Seward Peninsula area and up along the the northern slope with 32 degrees at Barrow. Lower 48 weather, a little more of a stormy situation starting to work its way across the central plains. Again, the jet stream helping to guide all that moisture. Things are finally cooling down out to the west. In fact, early next week, the hot temperatures will shift to the east with showers over the Pacific Northwest and across the Great Lakes. And the good news is that today we had significant cooling along the coast, and the interior, even though it stayed hot, temperatures much cooler than they were the last couple of days. Well, back to Alaska for tomorrow. In the northern sections, snow is likely in Barrow, cloudy skies for Nome and Fort Yukon. Here in the interior, another good day expected. Mostly cloudy skies for Fairbanks and Delta, partly cloudy skies at Healy. Over southeast Alaska, we're looking at, for the most part, mostly cloudy skies at Ketchikan, sunny skies in Juneau, while over the southwest part of the state, mostly cloudy skies at Bethel and Cold Bay, with sunny skies at Kodiak. And over the south central regions, again, mostly sunny skies across the region. And one quick look at our allergy report for the day. And you can see once again, trees are mainly at very high to high levels, with mold right around the medium levels, and weeds and grass are at low levels. That's good news there. Our forecast for tonight, kind of mild, 44 degrees for the overnight low. Clouds slowly increasing through the night. Tomorrow's forecast looking at 64, becoming cloudy with a chance of showers later on, mainly in the evening hours after all the outdoor activities are over with. And the extended forecast calling for maybe a chance of a shower on Sunday, a little better chance on Monday, and then again on Wednesday and Thursday as more clouds and cooler weather moves in. The overnight lows will once again be right around the 40-degree mark, and we're looking at temperatures during the daytime highs working their way back up again by next Thursday to the mid-60s. So all in all, after the cool air moves through, we're going to rebound once again, guys, and get back in the mid-level 60s. That's not too bad.
Yeah, looks good. Not bad, not terrible. All right, those winds were pretty bad today.
Yeah, strong.
Interesting. All right, before we go, KTVF and Bailey's Furniture, once again, teaming up for Spring Dream Giveaway Contest, where you can win a furniture package from Bailey's valued at $2,500.
That's funny. Tune into the Fairbanks Evening News and News Center Final for the first half of a mystery word.
You know it's Friday, guys. Then visit Bailey's Furniture for the second half and complete your entry form for your chance to win. The mystery word today is...
Entertainment.
Entertainment. So we hope we're entertaining you
Entertainment.
now and forever, Fairbanks.
Absolutely. That will wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We are glad you could join us.
NBC Nightly News with Brian Williams is coming up next.
Reminder, join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webcenter11.com.
All right, and tonight we leave you with more of the sounds from today's memorial celebration downtown at the Fairbanks Police Department.